It might be a while because it's testing. Oh, okay, I made my map. Welcome everyone to anime after shows. We provide high quality after shows of some of your favorite animes. Today we're going to be discussing Digimon Adventure, the 2020 reboot. I am your host, Nano here, and I have two lovely uh, co-hosts for me. The first one, if you watch our pre-Q after show, you're probably super familiar with this person from his like pre-Q reviews and his knowledge of toy properties, which is why I brought him on. Welcome, Adam from the Azen Zone. Welcome to the show.
How's it?
Are you ready to talk about Digimon? Do you have strong opinions like I do right now?
Few.
And our second host is a good friend. You might want to say he digs to the heavens. Welcome, InfiniteDrillWorks. I was trying to come up with a good login thing, but it kind of fell through. You know, we probably should have discussed. I couldn't come up with good material. Sorry, I tried.
It's okay. Thank you for trying. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So, the Digimon Adventure. Okay, so before we begin, I gotta know what are you guys' history with Digimon? Girls, I actually don't know your Digimon origin stories, so you go first. You go ahead.
So, first of all, hi all. I'm DrillWorks. I am 20. I will be 27 in about a week, a few days actually.
When's your birthday? It'd be funny if we had the same birthday.
2nd of July.
Oh, me, June 29th, and I'm also turning 27 too, so we get to turn 27 together. So yeah.
So yeah, basically my history with Digimon is that around 20 years ago, I watched the first, second, third, and fourth shows of Digimon in Hebrew because that's my homeland, and that's the local dub. I watched it, I enjoyed it. It didn't really go any further than that, and I'm just gonna say it out loud. Digimon is not the biggest franchise I'm really into, but it's still a very good childhood memory, and I'm definitely watching the new show because it's a reboot of the first one, and hell to the yeah, I'm definitely watching it.
Okay. So what about you, Azen? How did you get into Digimon? I know you've kind of briefly mentioned Digimon in your reviews, but you haven't like gone in depth because I'm not sure. Did you do a review of Digimon Try? I can't remember.
I briefly did a review on Digimon Try up until like the third movie, and then it got so bad, and I just couldn't handle it anymore, and I wasn't even really getting that many decent views, so I just said, I'm good.
Okay, so how did you get into Digimon? How did you discover it? You know, what are some of your fond memories and stuff of it?
Pretty much the same as most people, just saw it on the original Fox Kids, saw all three series up until Digimon Tamers. And then I watched the subs of Digimon Frontier because Frontier wasn't really that much available in the English stuff for me until much later.
So that's pretty much it for your origin story?
Yeah, pretty much typical. Just watch the original 3 series, and watch Frontier a little bit, and then little bits of Cross Wars and so forth afterwards. Nothing that special.
Cross Wars. Okay, so I can't remember. I don't think I watched it on Fox Kids. I remember me my parents being at like a hotel and they had like a trailer for like a Digimon uh Tamers episode, and I think it was like the episode where Biaozamon made his first appearance. But
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure if I saw Digimon Adventure at that point. I can't remember, but I do. So what like really got me into Digimon was watching a lot of it on Jetix. Do you guys remember Jetix?
Yeah, where they
Yeah.
basically replay most of it, including like I think Frontier 2.
Yeah, and I also remember watching like the Digimon movie on HBO. Hey, you got 3 movies for the price of 1.
And you could also just go watch the original ones that are a little bit better.
You gotta support the English releases, man. Okay, so wait, actually, let me continue. So my favorite season, of course, is Tamers. I also really like Frontier. You know, I think like years ago it didn't have the biggest reception, but I think in like recent years as like more maybe not as good seasons have come up, I think people have appreciate Frontier more because I do like the whole like Super Sentai Power Ranger aspect and incorporating into Digimon. And I don't think like Data Squad / Sabers is too bad. Cross Wars, first half good. Time Hunters we won't talk about. And the Tribe movies, I don't know how I feel. I feel like I need to, because I watched them as they came out in theaters. So I feel like it's one of those things you have to like. I feel like marathon to like fully grasp, which I have not done. Maybe I'll do it before the final like Digimon Adventure like Last Evolution movie comes out. But I don't know. So to continue on, so when this reboot was announced, what were you guys hoping for it?
Honestly, I wasn't really hoping for anything. I mean, okay, that was a lie. I did hope for one thing.
For it to be good?
I mean, that's just that's given. I wouldn't.
I mean,
care.
not always given. You know, you would hope, but
yeah, I wouldn't care if it wasn't good. I would still like it. But one thing that I did hope is that somehow they would still incorporate the old opening song, Butterfly.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give another commemoration for the late singer. Forgot his name. Do forgive me.
Koji Wada.
Yeah. I
in
was
peace.
hoping that maybe they would do another thing with the theme, but oh well.
I don't know. We've gotten a lot of like Butterfly lately with the Digimon Tri movies, so I don't mind not having that.
Oh, same. I'm not I'm not rolling over because of it, but still, you can never have too much of it.
So one thing I was hoping for. So are you guys familiar with V-Tamers?
V-Tamers, the manga?
Yeah. So it's the manga that's they took some of the ideas and incorporated into Digimon Adventure. While I haven't like read the like original manga, I do know some of the ideas, and it's like really very different. So what I'm kind of hoping for them is to take like some of those ideas, like they are like pretty different to the point where there's like characters in the manga that are related, but aren't related in the anime. So I won't like spoil it if you guys actually plan on like reading. So it'd be kind of interesting. What I thought would be cool if they would have done like an adaptation of that, you know.
Mhm.
Which I understand them not that they want to go for that like remake like the nostalgia, but I don't know. I think incorporating some stuff from B Team is could be interesting. What do you guys think about that? And Adam, what were you hoping for?
Mostly that what even if it is a remake, I would hope that they would do a little bit of their own thing and not just copy paste a lot of the stuff from the original series, which we'll get to that. But and also throw in some more modern concepts, which they are kind of doing with social media and all that.
Mhm.
Some more modern technology, social media. That'd be great because that's just to show how much things have changed since the. I think the original series like came out in like the early 2000s, so and things have like changed so much since then.
Was it it wasn't in the 90s, right? It was early.
I don't think it was the 90s, 2000s. I think early
Yeah,
2000s.
yeah. That sounds right.
The original, I think the original Virtual Pets came out in the 90s. The
Yeah.
anime came out in like the 2000s, I think.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Digimon did start out as like Tamagotchis. So
Yeah, my Tamagotchis basically.
yeah, I had a couple. Mine died.
All of ours did.
I was bad.
Yeah.
I even had like a Digimon Data Squad one, which was pretty cool. I really like the design of that Digivice, the like square and stuff.
Hmm.
So, are you guys ready to talk about the episodes?
Yep.
So
Hell yeah.
we're going to be talking about our general like thoughts of episodes 1 for 3 and talk about episode 4 because that's the most recent one that came out.
Yep.
So, who wants to go first? Raise your hand.
I guess I'll go.
Okay, what did you think? Pros first.
All right. Well, pros, I would say like I like that they're just for this, not for the sake of nostalgia. I know I just said that they shouldn't just like wholesale take stuff from the original, but I did like that they are using the original designs and still making them look nice and modernizing it a little bit. And as I said, they also can't exactly think of too many examples, but they have updated stuff like easy Koshiro's PC is more of now of a bit of a tablet now, so that's a nice little bit of an update. And yeah, what else can I say that's good?
It's kind of hard.
Okay, the designs of the worlds look great. The backgrounds look amazing and all that. The new backgrounds that I think are like borrowing from the more recent game. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the more recent games like
Cyber Sleuth?
Yeah, Cyber Sleuth. I played. They look exactly like that, and
Oh, yeah.
maybe they're from a different. Maybe they're based on different games that came out for the Wonder Swan. But yeah, regardless, the backgrounds look amazing.
Drills, what did you like?
So one of the things that I did like was, first of all, I think the soundtrack sounds really, really damn good.
Oh yeah,
I like
I like the soundtrack.
You know, both in scenes that are just, you know, nothing really happens, or, you know, any expositions, you know, some people running it, basically non-combat. I like it. Sounds, you know, very instrumental, you know, very kind of light. I like it a lot. And the combat music is also, you know, just pure anime. You gotta love it. It sounds great. Another thing that I liked, I think, is that at least while in combat scenes, the animation is fantastic. You know, smooth. It looks good. It's high quality, which is exactly what it should be. Even if it isn't, you know, that's not the worst, but you know, it is. So
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
plus.
I've been really liking the visuals and the animation.
Hmm.
Oh, are those all your pros?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, because I procrastinate, I watched like all the episodes in one sitting last night. So, so keep that into context. So, first of all, I like that like intro music, not like the opening, but the like little bit of like intro that played before they show the logo.
Uh,
Like I found that to be really nice, and like just the music in general, I found nice. Like the action music, of course, and like just the music and the general like war and everything. So, like we talk about, we do want them to do new stuff. What I did find interesting is that they actually build up to the field trip. I don't the camping trip. I don't know if we're
yeah.
gonna see more of the camping trip. Though I am also confused because in one scene they were in the camping trip, and then in another scene, Ty was home. Did the trip just end? Is it like a multi-day trip? Is there something I'm not understanding, guys?
I didn't get that either. I almost thought like they just did the camping trip for the sake of staying true to the original, but then they just said, but then nothing happened at the camping trip, and they just went home afterwards.
Yeah,
Kind of make
like I've never been camping, so but I would imagine you don't just go camping for like a few minutes and go back home. Unless it was a pre-setup, but a lot of times like camping areas are pretty far from where you live, so
yeah. So
you know
I don't know.
unless
Maybe they just did the camping trip like normal, and then nothing happened. Then like a few weeks later, then the Digimon stuff started up again at home.
yeah, maybe they do have enough money to travel between. Who knows? Maybe the banking from that toy money or something. I don't know.
Toy money.
Yeah, what? So if you recall in the original, like all the Digidestineds for the most part pretty much knew each other. What
Yeah.
which I found interesting in this, that wasn't necessarily the case. We see Ty and like um
Cultural.
Izumi uh
Yeah. Izumi
uh
is his last name. Go ahead.
uh meet for the first time and see that relationship develop. That's something I like. I like how they're expanding on some plot points that weren't quite like
Yeah.
expanded on in the original. To kind of also go back to the camping trip, there was other campers.
Hmm.
It wasn't just the Digidestin because I think
That
in
was the
the
case. That was the case for the original series too. There were other kids there. They just happened to be the only ones who got caught up in the original tidal wave. In
well
that time.
there were other kids, but we didn't really see them until we saw them like once when they returned from the digital world to the human world. But like in the first episode of Digimon Adventure, though it has been years since I've seen it, we didn't really see uh, the other campers. Am I remembering that wrong?
Well, we saw just a little bit of them on the way on the trip home, like I said. So yeah.
Yeah, but here we actually see the other campers like staying up, and we see like Sword being like an older like student and helping the younger ones. That's kind of cool. So I'm curious if they're going to flesh out more of the other characters and the like. Well, so I do like they are trying to make this uh its own thing, you know,
Hmm.
which I think is important. So to get into some more like interesting thing, I do think it was pretty interesting that when like Ty and like Core Mon first like met, he like digivolved to Agumon right away,
Mhm.
which can kind of be a negative once we get into the negatives, but we'll get like more into that. So the first like Greymon transformation, I thought was pretty epic. Not like the like full on transformation sequence. I'm talking about the transformation in the first episode where he's just kind of glowing and transforming.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. I like the like ending theme, and to kind of get back to the characters. I, I I like how like Izumi is gathering like information. Uh, in this, I like that like role. He was like pretty like smart in the original, but in this he's more in tune into like computers and the networking and able to like gather information in a very efficient like way.
With social media, basically.
Yes. So I to do like the whole network and data frame. So like it's like perfect for Digimon. So I think it was a small idea. Rebooting this with a focus on uh the internet because they could have just made it exactly like the original and not incorporate the internet. So I'm glad they do. So I know we have some issues with Animon, but I will say one good thing, that fight scene with Animon was pretty good. The
Mhm.
first couple of like fight scenes I liked.
Hmm.
Though there is one slight negative about Wigijo, but it was mostly good. I liked it anyways.
Hmm.
You know, so I liked Sora's and Biomon's relationship. Okay,
That's getting to episode 4, though. We're just trying to cover episode 1 through 3, aren't we?
I was just doing all of it together, kind of. My bad. Did we just want to leave it to episode 1 through 3?
Whatever.
Okay.
I mean, I'll just say one quick thing about that little mini arc at the beginning is that, speaking about Koshiro, is that, let me just be a little bit nitpicking and talk about how a fourth grader gets, classified information from American military and
I mean,
and the like. It's just
I mean,
kind of
in the original, he was always pretty smart. Was he a fourth grader in the original? I can't remember.
I feel like it is. I certainly don't remember. That was a long time ago that I actually checked.
I mean, if you guys will remember the original, like, uh, war game, he tapped into some encrypted stuff. So it's not like it's a completely new thing for the character. He's always good at like figuring stuff out and finding new information and like learning more.
Yeah, that's
Do remember what his crest is. You know,
Knowledge.
well, I didn't want to say it because people might be watching the reboot for the first time and not seeing the original, but it's cool.
Well, we have to kind of get into spoilers for the negatives.
Yeah, I get.
Yeah.
Yeah. But back to what I was saying, I like Sora and Biomon's relationship. I think like Biomon had the one Digivolution that felt earned.
Yeah.
Which we will expand more on in our like cons. But let's get into our cons. Adam,
Oh, boy.
I feel like you have a lot. So have fun, man.
Knives Out.
The first 3 episodes are basically our war game, a complete remake of it. That is just lazy. It's lazy.
Okay,
So
I don't have a problem with them doing our war game, but if you're gonna do it, like make it a full arc, not just 3 episodes. Like that like becoming Amimon, that could have been a good conclusion to a first like arc. But
yeah,
no,
then and the original R War games came after the end of the first series. That's the thing. Everyone had already developed, so them getting Omnimon or Megamon was just an extension of the end of the series of all their development, and then you just introduced this guy in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
that's kind of my problem. Like in the original, when the Digimon Digivolve, they earned it. The characters went through some kind of lesson, some kind of bonding. Like besides Biomon, we haven't really gotten that. I hope we get that, but it's because some of my concern. I feel like they're just one doing things for nostalgia, and two just kind of rushing through things.
Plus, I feel like they just wanted to do it because they also wanted to capitalize on the fact that the director of our War Games went on to make Summer Wars, Mamoru Hosoda's Summer Wars, which is pretty much just our War Games, but done with him without the Digimon stuff. So it almost feels like they just wanted to capitalize on Summer Wars' popularity, which has already faded. It's kind of
yeah. Does it even make sense to capitalize it anymore at this point?
I guess there's like some nostalgia for both our War Games and Summer Wars, so they just figured, both of those movies are great, so why don't we do them both again? Even though make it like the third time it's been made now.
Wait, the third time? I get War Game and Summer Wars. Was it a third?
Yeah, it's
yeah. Okay.
It's been made 3 times now, is what I'm saying, and it's just I can't enjoy. I'm sorry, I just can't enjoy it because I've seen this fight. It's either going to be Diablomon or Love Machine. And then you just introduce this new Digimon who's just it's just either one of those.
Yeah, they didn't mean like give us a good like Digimon for like this is Amimon, and like the problem I have Tai and Yamato, they barely know each other. Like in the original War Game, it made sense for them to pretty much like DNA the Digivolve because they bonded and got to know each other. Here it makes no sense because I feel like they're not really friends yet, but they can somehow Digivolve to Amimon, and also they can't be Digivolve to the ultimate forms yet, let alone the other like mega forms.
Yeah, like this guy has a head that still hasn't been introduced yet.
Yeah.
Though you could.
Or
So what I'm hoping is they probably won't be able to do Amimon for a while, and maybe
they've already spoiled it. That's the problem.
Maybe they will just like setting it up and like maybe the characters will hope they can get Animon, but nothing seems to happen, and then like in a tight spot, then we'll get Amimon back. I don't know. I don't know how you would.
It's too late now. Once you've the genie's out of the bottle. Once you've shown Omnimon this early into the series,
so they need to come up with an even stronger and better Digimon than Amimon, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and another thing, they just used it on this virus Digimon that I'm not even sure if he got the name, and it had less development than either Diablomon or Love Machine from Summer Wars.
Yeah. So I do think like our war game does make like sense and the whole like internet theme they're going for, but like that should have been a whole arc, not like 2 episodes.
Whole arc, or at least much later into the, or for one thing, much later into the series. And again, they just copied it wholesale. I think the virus like multiplied exactly like Diablomon did at the end of the movie. That's what I mean. You can't just copy wholesale stuff from the old series if you're just gonna remind us of of things that were done better in the original series.
Yeah, you got like build up to it. set things up. Like I said, one of the things I love about Digimon is them unlocking the Digivolutions. They feel earned. The characters went through some stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So
It'll be kind of funny to think about how they actually do go forward with Omnimon being introduced in episode 3, because what happens next? Omnimon was used to be, this ultimate evolution that would just, beat the baddest of guys. And what now?
like
Th- th-
so I'm hoping they won't be able to use Omnimon anymore. But then if they can, what was the point of introducing him? I guess for the nostalgia.
Look, for technicalities, they didn't introduce him, right? He wasn't named, but that's a very nitpicky technicality, right? The thing is, the thing I'm looking for is how are they going to cover that up in the show? Saying how they're going to use it, fine. That's the director's thing to think about. But how are they going to do it in the show? What, they just forgot that he was a thing? Did the whole blinding light that sent them back to the real world just make them forget that Agumon and Greymon and Garurumon can just fuse into Omnimon? Like, they didn't even know what it was called.
Yeah.
So, just
Yeah, and like the episodes even call our war games, so it's not like you can say, oh, they're not really doing our war game. No, they're doing our war game.
Or Summer Wars, whatever you want to call it at this point. Jesus.
yeah.
Like this gets to another person. Like, I don't know where the plot's going. Do you guys know where the plot's going? I know it's only 3 episodes, but things seem all over the place. Things just sort of happen.
Yep. Which we can talk about more when we get into episode 4, which things just happened, you could say, in that too.
So, do any more cons that any of you two wanted to talk about?
I've said all my piece.
If I could go first.
Okay.
Let me just look here so I don't forget what I want to say. But yeah, I did talk about how I didn't like all the very convenient things that happened during the first 3 episodes. That's just a little thing. I think one of the kind of other things that bother me is the voice acting, which is, I'm not 100% sure of this, but I think maybe are they bringing some of the old voice actors back for this project?
They brought back the original Digimon voice actors, not the humans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So actually, what bothers me are the humans. The kids voice actors. Taichi is fine. Koshiro is fine. Some of the other ones are just they sound kind of awkward.
Yeah.
It's like it's not really like the all the voice acting in general is not very consistent. I think in that some characters are voiced fine, but some are just not. That's just me, of course. That's a con for me. But other than that, really nothing that big. Because again, I'm not that much of a Digimon buff like you guys, so I can't really find a lot of points to complain about, or not complain, just compare to.
Okay, so I don't know if I said it right, but I really didn't grow up like watching the original Japanese dub. I'm more used to the English dubs, so it's kind of hard for me to compare voice acting, and I'm not really good at like telling what is a good Japanese voice acting and what isn't, because I don't like speak the language, and I feel like I haven't heard enough Japanese voice acting to like make that assessment. But how did you feel about the voice acting, Adam?
I thought it was fine. Nice to actually hear. I also grew up on the original English dubs, but then I heard the Japanese dubs, which I thought were good. And it's nice that they brought back the original ones for the Digimon. The new guys, some of them I have issues with, which we'll get into once we get to episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, are there any more like cons?
Not for me.
I mean, I'm good.
Let me.
I just had to get that out.
Hold on. Let me check my list. So, like I said, yeah, it doesn't feel and we'll probably touch more about this once we get into episode 4. But the pacing kind of seems over, like direction and all that stuff. And yeah, I feel like the net part. Let's talk about it a little bit. I feel like that ended soon, though it might not be completely ended. Like it kind of seems like they're gonna still do stuff, but so what I wish they would have done, have the first arc be the night arc, and then after that maybe they go back to the human world in 11, and then they go to the digital world. Kind of how like in the Digimon Tamers, the first half was like the human world, second half the digital world, and the final half was the human world again. Do you feel like that would have been a better choice?
hmm
What do you guys think about that idea?
I mean, I
Like
think
more
that's maybe
evenly.
what they're trying to do now, just in
Yeah.
a smaller scale. You know, maybe like how long did the original Digimon screening go? For like maybe how many episodes? 50 plus, 100 plus?
So the original season 1 was probably around 50, right, Adam? I can't remember the
Yeah,
count.
50 episodes. I think they like spent about 30 of those in the digital world, except for the little bit of when Taichi came back to the real world.
So,
And then
yeah.
and then the rest of the series was, and then of course then they were in Japan, they were in the real world again, and then ended the series back in the digital world. There's a very steady pace of how many of the different places they went to. This one it's like go to the digital world, go back to the real world, go back to the digital world, all within 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I think it would be good if like maybe first 10 or so or 15. I'm not good with numbers. I don't know a good like percentage of how you do it, but the first like quarter net, then uh then we have some kind of slice of life, them showing back in the human world, and then they go to the digital world for like the final like arc.
Yeah.
I think doing it that way would have been better.
Hmm.
Do you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you agree? Disagree?
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of.
Mostly.
Kind of. I do want them to do their own thing. So if they kind of broke that tradition of like always doing it one place or another, it wouldn't be bad. It's just how they execute is the key.
Yeah, maybe if it's more consistent, and maybe they establish the rules, because this is another con. So we're lucky that we've seen the original, but I feel like if you've never seen it, you'd be kind of lost.
When definitely wouldn't know who the heck this guy is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and like they don't really explain Digivolution.
Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're just aiming for people who have never seen the original
Yeah,
one.
but when you're marketing, if you want your show to be successful, you want also market it towards a general audience too.
Yeah, and the general audience isn't going to know a lot of this stuff, a lot of this mythology and all that.
Yeah,
so
because I wanted to introduce this show to one of my friends because she really liked playing Digimon Cyber Sleuth, which is an amazing Digimon game, by the way. If you guys have not checked that game out, go play. Like, it's good. But like I don't know if she'd be able to follow it. No, luckily she did play Cyber Sleuth, but the rules do work differently a bit. So like, I feel like this would be really confusing. I barely get what's going on.
Yep.
So someone who's never delved, especially someone who's never seen a Digimon season, nothing at all of Digimon, they'd be lost.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of the opposite. We're kind of, well, I don't know about myself. I don't really feel that confused. I'm kind of like just rolling with it. But I feel like we're just trying to kind of frame it into what we know already of the Digimon story. And that's why we seem kind of confused because we don't know what's going to happen next. And why this thing that happened all the way near the end suddenly happens at the beginning. So I don't think that for new viewers that will be too much of a problem because they don't know anything, right? They don't know anything. So for them, it'll just be like learning a new thing. It's like as if you took, I don't know, for example, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and you just introduced it to somebody who never even knew it, but he read like a fan fiction or something of the first part, excuse me. So they would know something that's not even true. So now we're just having this new series that maybe is, again, it's a big maybe because we don't know what's going on, that's aimed towards, we think is aimed towards new viewers who have never seen Digimon before, who have never consumed Digimon before. Games, manga, anime, you name it. Never.
Yeah, but I still to go to your JoJo Bizarre Adventure. Well, I haven't seen that much of JoJo. I haven't even like finished the first JoJo. But that's how little of JoJo I've seen.
It's fine. It's just an example. You could put.
But I feel like even in that case, they like set up the rules and rule. But I feel like they're not really establishing rules and the universe that well. Do you guys feel that way? Or am I alone on that?
I do feel that way, and I feel it's for a purpose.
What's that purpose?
That purpose is to try and draw people in. Because when you're just going through something, it's like imagine this. Imagine you have a game, you're starting a brand new game, and you don't have a tutorial. So what you're doing is you're playing through that game, you're discovering everything on your own, you learn the rules by yourself, you see an enemy approaching you, and there's no tutorial to butt in and tell you, hey, do this, hey, this enemy is dangerous, hey, don't do that. So I feel like it's in the same vein here. You have a new world that's introduced to you, new characters that are doing new things that you've never seen before. You know, they're evolving. And suddenly this virus is evolving 7 times over, and you're like, is that even legal? And a new viewer would not know that. Honestly, I don't even know that. I don't even remember, to be completely true. But I feel like what they're doing is that now that they're in, we'll get to it in episode 4, that they're finally going into the actual digital world and not the connection, between the net and the digital world. Then they're going to introduce you to all the rules that govern this world. But for the first 3 episodes, there are no rules. You don't know what's going on. You're just following along, and I think the purpose is to intrigue people and to make them curious, to just dive in, as you would say, to this digital world of Digimons, Digidestined, and Digivolution.
Yeah, but I feel like if you just kind of toss someone in, they'll be like overwhelmed and confused. Be like, what's going on? Why is that happening? Who's that? And it could like turn them off,
That's true.
And it feels like they're also throwing just a lot of stuff all at once that should, like, Omnimon obviously just like is almost feels like they're just like throwing in all kinds of twists and turns just for the sake of shock value at times.
Yeah, and what I worry about is we're gonna run out of good stuff,
Yeah.
And then they're not gonna know what to do,
They might be running themselves into a corner, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and we might get some filler episodes, but
filler episodes? I doubt that they do filler episodes. I mean, if they already keep going with the show, they probably have something planned out. If they didn't, they wouldn't be able to continue. But fillers, I don't know. Considering that, when was the last show that was introduced in the last couple of years that continued above 50 episodes? I think the last one was what was that Shonen Jump called with the guy that screams all the time? Asta, Black Clover. I think
Black Clover.
Yeah. I think that's the only show in the last several years even, that went over 50 episodes. So Digimon, I don't know, maybe it'll be generous to even go to 26, but 50.
I mean,
Chance.
Digimon seasons are typically close to 50.
That's true, but we're talking about the original screenings. Now, you remember when those shows came out? They came out in a time when shonen juggernauts like One Piece, Bleach, Inuyasha, Naruto, and all that stuff. That was the jam. You know, everything went up to 100+ episodes.
Yeah,
That was the shit then.
yeah.
So
Well,
Digimon,
there's still are shows that have 50 episodes per season.
like what?
Uh, 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 Pre-Care.
So that's been a continuous franchise. Digimon is just coming back after like so many years gone.
Yeah, it's still an example.
That's true. You're right.
What?
But is there something else besides Black Clover, which I mentioned before?
I don't watch as much anime as I should, which is why I'm doing the show to expand. Can you think of anything, Adam?
Not really.
See, that's my point. In recent years, it's just not in fashion to, sink so many resources into one show where, even My Hero Academia, by today's standards, if it was aired back then when Bleach and One Piece and everything started getting their animes, it would have easily been in a 100-episode show, continuous show, not seasonal show. That you play 12 or 20 episodes and then you go to another season. If it was back then, it would have been one long continuous show that would have been at 100 chapters by now. Excuse me, again, episodes by now. But it is not, because that's just not profitable today.
Well, I don't see. I don't know if this is the point you're trying to make, but I don't see this Digimon reboot being more than one season, unless they decide to maybe adapt Adventure 02. But I just see this reboot being one self-contained season.
Yep, I think so too. At max 26 episodes.
But once saying if it's going to be a self-contained season, I feel like it's gonna have to be more than 26 with the way Digimon like functions and stuff. The structure.
Well, with the way Digimon functioned in past, because now it's the year 2020. The anime industry has changed quite a bit, and shows do not function the way they did back then. Back then when I was getting into anime, it was rare for shows to even go, below 20 episodes. Anything that would release back then was 20+ episodes. Doing 12+ episodes was only for the high quality special adaptations of the occasional light novel, which back then was a very rare thing to do. Nowadays, you have 40 new shows and 20 movies and whatever the fuck comes out every 3 months, every new season, and half of those could be light novel adaptations. Back then, no. Those 12 12-episode high quality shows would have been adaptations for only some very special things. But today, everybody does that, because today it's all about the seasonal format, which is 12 episodes now, 12 episodes later, or 20 episodes now, 20 episodes later. There are no long running shows. And, 50 episodes is a year. It's minimum a year. A full year of broadcasting. Nobody does that. Almost nobody does that.
Yeah, but I just don't think that they can tell a concise and wrap a story up in 26 episodes. That's what I'm saying. I feel like they're going to need the episodes.
Maybe they won't. Maybe it will be a 2-season show.
I just don't see them doing a 2-season show. Do you see them doing a 2-season show, Adam?
Not really.
It's also speculations by now, unless we have any, reliable sources that tell us how many episodes this is, or rather, how many of the original show is going to be adapted into this, reboot.
Well, just give me a second. Let me call my contact at Toy and ring them up real quick.
Let me hit up my boy.
Yeah. So I think we've kind of been well, I wouldn't say arguing, but ranting on this for a while. So did you guys want to talk about episode 4 now?
Hell
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, so Drills, you seem very pumped up. How do you feel about this latest episode?
I feel like it's kind of cool that we're finally getting into the we're getting the steak off the grill. We're finally getting our knives out, our knives and forks, and we're getting to the digital world. We're seeing its whole grandeur, and we're starting to really get into the meat of things. And we see Piomon for the first time, and she digivolves. Can we just talk about those specialized digivolution sequences? Like,
Oh
my
yeah,
God,
they're really
those look
good.
fantastic.
Mhm.
I loved it. So, sure, you can see some of the effects of that, little COVID-19 break going in there in the animations
Mhm.
that kind of lacked. But hey, at least the digivolutions, which are the important things, were top notch. And I love that. And yeah, we're finally getting to the meat of things. Also, if you noticed, I think around the start of the episode where Taichi was going to meet up with Koshiro, and then he got sent to the digital world, you saw these 6 lights, instead of just maybe 1 or 2 that were supposed to be for
Yes.
Koshiro and
So I'm wondering if the other distance probably got summoned too.
hell yeah, they did. Hell yeah, they did. And now we're going to find out.
So do you think that they're going to integrate Kakari early on? Because in the original, it was like a while before we got her integrated.
So do remind me, they started at the 6, and then Hikari joined later on, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think they're just gonna stick to the original storyline, and Hikari will just join in later because we do see 6 lights, not 7.
Yeah, I do feel like they might introduce her more early on because one we in the I think it's even the opening of the credits you do see her and Gatoman, so I feel like they wouldn't be in those unless they were going to integrate her somewhat soon into the team. I could be reading into that too much.
Yeah,
I
they
keep
also
repeating- Go ahead.
well, they also showed Omnimon in the credits, and it only took 2 episodes to get him into the show.
Yeah, so yeah.
Who knows? Next episode we're gonna see Angel Woman.
Aw, please don't joke like that.
Well, we won't see Andrew Woolman, but we saw statues of the angel Digimon at the end of the episode.
That's true. At least we didn't see the Digimon.
True.
There's still gonna be, I want to say there's still gonna be some time till that, but again, Omnimon.
We'll recover from Omnimon. We might need some therapy sessions, but we'll get through it. But
I'm honestly not being too hard on this show. That's just me, though.
yeah. So are there any other stuff you liked about this episode, Drew?
I like that it teased. I like the teaser for the next episode. Some of the classic Digimons.
What was the teaser again?
It wasn't really the teaser. It was like the few seconds before the teaser roll. The teaser, I don't really watch teasers for the next episode anymore.
Was it after the credits?
No,
Okay.
it was just as the episode ended and the end credits were about to roll. There were these few seconds that you see 2 Digimons, 2 classic Digimons from the first show. Which again, do forgive me, I'm not a Digimon buff. I don't remember their names, but I do remember their looks, and And yeah, it'll be fun to see them again next chapter, next episode.
I think I like vaguely remember that. Like I said, I kind of binge 4 episodes with like barely any sleep. So
But yeah, that's everything for me.
okay, Adam.
Yeah, overall, I did like the episode better than the last couple, definitely. Actually, it felt like they were doing their own thing for the and building their own digital world now. The relationship between Piyama and Sora was cute. Yeah, there's a lot more. They actually are trying to world build instead of just throwing in the cool stuff all at once, at least. What else did I like that has been brought up? Yeah, the fight animation was great too, of course. Bergemon got an awesome insert song as soon as she digivolved.
Oh yeah, I love that like Digivolution theme. I don't think I brought up, but like so is that her particular theme, or is that gonna be a general?
I think that's going to be the general theme. That doesn't sound like it's especially made for Bergemon or anything like that.
Because like Digimon has always have good Digivolution themes.
Digivolution themes, as well as like the insert songs that happen whenever they get into a big battle.
Yeah. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry, my.
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. My 1 o'clock alarm went off. Yes, I have a 1 o'clock alarm. So yeah, I also like the Digivolution theme. Was there anything else you like before I go?
I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, so most of the stuff has kind of already brought up, but I'll bring it up anyways. So I do think this is probably the strongest episode so far. I mean, it's a big improvement. I don't think it's quite a perfect episode, but we are getting there. So, like I said, I love the relationship between like Sora and Biyomon and how they're developing that, and like Biyomon's Digivolution did feel like really earned.
Yeah.
Like Sora had a moment of trying to help Biyomon and saving her, and it touched Biyomon, and that's what I like from the original. Those like moments of them having a heart to heart and unlocking a new power. Like I really like that, and I do hope we get more. And I also like the Digivolution theme, and I really do like the look of this like new digital world. It's like gorgeous, man. It is gorgeous. So I really hope we really get to like explore and see some detailed environments. You know. But yeah, those are. If we're talking specifically episode 4, those are the things I like off the top of my head. I'm trying to think, but so let's go to I guess what we didn't like about the episode. You want to go, Drills?
Sure, I could go. Honestly, there weren't a lot of things that I didn't like. More sort of things that I didn't strongly dislike. But again, it just goes off of the same issues that I've had so far with the episodes. That some of the voice acting sounds weird, in my opinion. Especially Piyomon, which sounds she has a very deep voice, such a small thing.
Yeah, they brought back the original voice actress, as I said, so it's been a few years.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that would have to get accustomed to. It's not really that big of a point. It's not bad. It's just that it's kind of weird, and I will just have to get accustomed to it. Anything besides that, again, I did say, you notice a little bit of lack in animation quality because probably of the big COVID-19 break. But other than that, there weren't really that many things that I didn't like. Yeah, I'm pretty okay with this episode.
Yeah, like this one was a pretty like strong one. So if we can get more episodes like this, I think we can have a good season. I'm just hesitant because of the past like two episodes. But let's move on to Adam. Adam, what issues did you have?
Not so many bad issues. I just think things that irked me, I would say, is more the term I want to use. Like, do agree that the voice acting is a little off, though. Not so much with Piyomon for me, more like Sora. Sora's new voice actress is just sounded off to me. I'm familiar with the voice actress, and she's more known for doing either boys or tomboys.
I actually didn't mind her that much, but I would probably have to go back and listen and see.
Who's the voice actress, by the way?
Ryoko Shirahashi. She did the voice of Hayate from Hayate no Gotoku.
Okay.
She has, she has a very kind of bass voice, and just I don't know, it kind of sounded weird. And I've heard so many different versions of Sora so far between shows, and even I think Tri-Head did different voice actors too. But yeah, not so much I hate it, just kind of irked me. Though another thing, Sora's kind of a weirdo in this episode.
Yes, she was stalking.
She was not fazed by the fact that a bunch of dinosaurs were walking around all around her.
Yeah, that was. She's just like, oh, well, whatever. I do kind of like that about her, though. She just goes and accepts things, and we don't have to have a total freak out misunderstanding, her getting angry with Ty for wrapping her into it or anything like that. So
yeah, but it also kind of runs the risk of making her a little dull because, just give her a little personality, give her a little reaction to the fact that she's basically now in Jurassic Park.
I mean, who wouldn't want to go to Jurassic Park?
Me. Have you not seen?
I
wouldn't want to go. I would definitely not want to go to Jurassic World. That's a definite fact.
I actually have never seen Jurassic Park.
Watch the original movie. Watch the original movie. Don't watch any of the sequels.
Okay.
I've actually never watched it fully, but I've watched enough to know not to go to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and all right, this is a little bit more of a negative, I would say. Tentomon just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I really wish we would have got that introduction. Maybe in a future episode, the flashback of them meeting or something like that. I hope.
But they just comes on asking, "Hi, I'm here." Hi.
I'm a thing. Hi, hello.
Wait, did Biyomon ever introduce herself to Izumi? I can't remember.
She did. Not really.
Yeah.
Wait.
Piyomon Tokoshiro?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so that's kind of weird that Tentomon got introduced, but I guess at that point, Soren and Biyomon haven't quite connected, but you think they were still great. I know they had stuff going on and trying to figure out things, but
Hey, they're just getting along, They're just going with it.
Again, these are more nitpicks. One more positive I should mention. I found the ending hilarious.
Remind me what the ending was?
Tentomon and Koshiro just got eaten by Waymon.
Oh yeah, that was
right.
I get that's supposed to be their big cliffhanger, but they made it hilarious instead.
That was the perfect way to end the episode. So I feel next week we are probably gonna get in an Izumi and like Tetamon focus episode, and maybe they'll flash back to the meeting.
Maybe
Probably, yeah. I would assume.
if they don't, that'll be a legit negative. Just like do not absolutely nothing with our boy Tentomon. He's cool.
Yep. And I mean, you know, we've already gone through with like what, you know, two kind of really big introductions, you know, between the pairs. Why would the third one not be just as important? It was like, what's the point? I mean, they've already got to a great fucking start, just being fucking chomped on by a random whale at the end of the episode. But sure.
Yeah, so maybe when like Izumi enters the digital world, which I hope happens maybe the next episode or probably the following episode, maybe we'll get that introduction. But if like Biyama never like introduced herself to Izumi, I'm kind of concerned.
Yeah, everyone should know each other's Digimon, of course. That'd be great. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like if Izumi like addresses Biyomon as Biyomon without being introduced, you know.
You know, now that I think about it, here's the funny thing. You know, Sora, when she gets into the digital world, at least in this reboot, she just goes along with it. You know, she doesn't show any
that's what I said.
whatsoever.
She's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now we're looking at Koshiro, who through these 3 episodes was very emotional and very expressive in the way he talks, the way he says things. And then suddenly this, you know, his own sized bug just comes in. Hi, I'm Tentomon. Oh, hi. Where's your emotion that you've shown so far? Where's the expressiveness? They're going to have to show that. If they don't show that, again, it's just a big negative, because every Digidestined you should show every introduction scene for every Digidestined. That's just how this goes.
Maybe some stuff got cut.
I don't know.
Because
just after you meet the episode immediately after the COVID shouldn't be that affected, I think.
Okay.
They would have most of the episode done before COVID hits. I would imagine, for this one at least.
I mean, there are other reasons besides that to things to get cut. You know, it's how the creative like process works. You think something's cool, but you find out it doesn't work, so you then like remove it and stuff. And you also have to adjust for like airtime and stuff like that.
Yeah, but where would they remove it though? Like, if they remove it, they also have to make new. They might have to also make new scenes to compensate as well. So,
in this case, I don't think that's really an option. You cannot just remove something that's so core to the show. It's always been a core to the show in any of its iterations, that a human is paired with a Digimon. There's always been that connection. There's always been that.
Well, never mind. Continue.
Okay, most of them. In most of its iterations, there's always been this connection of a human and a Digimon. To suddenly, you know, and most importantly, to do that to a reboot of the very first one that introduced this concept, I don't know, man. I don't think that's really it's not possible to do that. I mean, it is possible technically, but it's not an option. It's really not an option. That will just ruin a part of it. I mean, sure, you could just make a meeting sort of a very, or maybe you could make it look like an unimportant thing if the if the way the characters work actually do work like that. If they're very, you know, kind of passive, very calm, and very kind of getting along with things, sure, you can make that work because that's part of the world. But again, as I said before, Koshiro is a very expressive character. He's a very emotional character. He's a very loud character too. And for him to act that way would be very disingenuous, would be very just not Koshiro.
Yeah.
So that just wouldn't work.
So hopefully we'll flash back to that in the next episode, if anything else.
Yep.
So Adam did his con drills, you did yours, right? Hello?
What's that?
You both said your cons, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I don't know. I kind of, I guess my con just like goes back to the thing, like stuff just sort of happens, you know?
Yeah.
Like it feels like there's no end game, no direction, and like they draw this temple out of nowhere. Like I feel like a temple. They're going to a temple. I feel like that's something that should happen later. You know, I feel like they should just be kind of exploring around, finding resources and stuff like that. So, I guess it depends what happens at the temple. You know.
Yeah.
I
Hopefully,
think the temple is probably where they start the whole thing.
hopefully, no like Angemon stuff happens there.
Look, I wouldn't mind seeing Angie Woman, right?
Like
That's
if
my
it
favorite.
happens, man, Drill. Oh, we're gonna have some issues, man.
Look, sure, throw me in prison, okay? I'll do prison to see Angie Woman this early, okay?
I mean, Angela Ramon's pretty cute, you know. I'm not gonna lie. You know.
But yeah, I think that the whole temple thing was just be the big plot bomb. The whole start to the journey. Because up till now, just like I thought, I mean, not just like I thought, but the way I'm thinking is it's very kind of all over the place with how it goes. And then they're in the digital world, and they have this destination that they don't know even what it is. They just see the temple from far away. They can barely make things out. They don't know what's going on. But we've already established that thanks to the digidevices, or however they're called in English,
Devices.
Digivices. So thanks to the digivices, they can actually read the writings on some of these stone tablets.
I found that really interesting because I don't.
They didn't have that function in the original series.
Yeah. The closest thing they had, I think, like Izumi was able to translate with
his computer, his old lap.
Yeah, and how like smart he is, and with researching and stuff. But for them to just have that theory is interesting, though. It's kind of sad they're kind of taking that away from Izumi. So,
Yeah, well, he's somewhere else, so it's nice to actually split things up a little bit, I'd say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hope he doesn't, like Izumi doesn't like lose his function within the group. He's the smart guy, the knowledge, trying to like figure out how this war works, and like in the original, he came up with all these like theories, trying to figure out where they were and how to escape and stuff like that. So I hope they don't take away those like cool aspects from him.
I mean, you got to notice though that maybe they took one function away from him, like one thing that he used to do in the original, but they gave him something else, which was all the they actually gave him a sort of reason to how his information gathering skills come into play, which is all the connections.
I love that.
So it's one thing goes away, one thing gets introduced. So it all balances out. So I don't think he's going to lose his function within the group. He's going to stay the smart guy, that's sure, and at least in my opinion. But I think again, what I'm thinking right now is that they're just going to that temple, and now that they have this, I don't know what to call it, tablet, stone writing, glyphs, whatever you want to call it. Now that they have to read it. Yeah, so they can read that now. And maybe somebody will wait there and introduce them to what they need to do as Digidestined. Or just read it off the walls.
So do you think they're going to introduce, when they get to that temple, do you think they're going to introduce Jedi at that temple?
I don't know.
Hopefully not the Tri version of Jedi.
Well, that wasn't really Jedi though.
I know. I'm just saying.
Maybe, maybe they will do that. But
Oh,
I
please
think
no.
one of the thing I would like them to do is to just, read whatever's written on the walls. Maybe like what was it, like a prophecy thing back in the original
Yeah.
story?
Yeah, prophecies all
So
over the place for that series.
so yeah, you get there, you see a lot of writings, you read it, Koshiro puts his brain on overdrive, connects the whole things, and boom, you have a story. That's where everything gets, puts everything into motion. You know where to go. Well, maybe you don't know where to go, but you have a clue of where to go or what to do. That's what I think it will be, the starting point,
Okay.
the actual starting point.
So I feel like we're heading into a like reform overall discussion. So if there's anyone in the chat that wants to ask this questions, feel free. So do you guys, who do you think is going to be the first like main big villain? Do you think it's going to be Digimon like in the original, or do you think they're gonna do things too soon and just go for my oldest mon?
Hmm.
By the looks of it, they're kind of leaning towards Devamon by introducing Ogremon first.
Yeah.
Question is for how long though?
Mhm.
Because so far, again, take a shot every time we say Omnimon, but so far, Omnimon's here. 3 episodes in, 2 episodes in. So who knows how long they're gonna even how long they're gonna, I don't know, just machine gun all these characters out.
Yeah, that's why like I don't see it only be 24 or 26 episodes. If we want to have all these like good villains, I feel like that's not enough episodes unless they do things super fast, which I'd rather them take their time and have these things develop over time.
Yeah. One possibility is that they might completely skip over Edamon because he's one of the lesser villains.
Oh yeah, there was that Adamon arc. I totally forgot about that.
That's my point exactly.
I mean, it was important for like ties like development, but other than like I do like the like Edamon like character, but that arc's kind of I don't remember it that well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? Do you remember that arc, Drills?
The monkey.
Not 100%, I'll be honest, but
He kind of had this like Elvis kind of vibe to him.
The monkey.
sorry.
So no one remembers Edamon.
What's up?
No one remembers Edamon. The singing monkey.
I find Edamon pretty cool. Well, actually, like Edamon becomes the big villain.
How do you spell his name?
E-T-E. E-T-E. E-T-E Mon. E-T-E.
Yeah.
Digimon.
What in the hell is that?
Like
No, I certainly don't remember. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
No one does.
Wow.
Everyone remembers Devamon or My Oldest Mon because they're much more memorable villains.
Though,
Yeah, that I do.
sometimes I feel like they overuse my old spawn a bit, but
Well, 02 was justified. Yeah.
my old spawn was also on Cross Wars.
Hmm.
So
Well, Crosswords brought in all of the villains, basically, including Lucimon, I think, at one point.
oh yeah, they did. Because wasn't Cross Wars like an anniversary season?
The Hunter season was the crossover season.
Yeah.
The original first half of Crosswords was its own thing, though they did bring in a lot of elements from previous seasons.
Yeah. Actually, that kind of gets into a interesting conversation. Do you think that they'll ever like delve into the Digimon multiverse because they kind of semi played into it, but I feel like they haven't tapped into its full potential. Would that be something you guys would like to see? Maybe in this season or like a future Digimon season or Digimon movie?
That'd be interesting. They have kind of tapped into it in like Tamers for one thing.
Yeah, and also like Cross Wars.
I would definitely like to see that. They have enough characters to do that.
Yeah, because each season it's like so contained. I actually got into this conversation with a friend whether or not the Digimon seasons after uh Digimon Adventure 1-2 are like uh part the main seasons, or would they be considered spin-offs?
I mean,
Because
I don't know.
I forget what's listed. I think on like my anime list, the seasons after like Adventure 1 or 2 are like classified as spin-offs.
I don't know. I don't feel like it.
What do you think, Adam?
Mm. I'm not sure if Toy would be able to like invest into that, or would be willing to invest into that.
No, I mean, okay. So the question is, do you consider the seasons after 1 or 2 like main seasons, or do you consider them spin-offs?
Uh, I guess technically spin-offs, but they're all in their own universe, really.
Yeah.
It's like if you would call every single installment of Final Fantasy, besides the ones that have continuations, spin-offs.
Yeah,
That's not really how it is. They're not spin-offs.
yeah, and it's kind of like calling Power Rangers uh every season after like My Morphin a spin-off.
Though they're all kind of taking place in the same universe, it seems, or sometimes. Well, some of them are confirmed to be in different universes. Others
Yeah, but
are.
even like the ones that are in the same universe, like let's be real, shows like that the continuity is pretty loose.
You know,
You know,
True.
Eh, sometimes it works, half the time it doesn't.
I think what you would really need to define here is, again, definition of a spin-off in this context.
Yeah,
Because
that's
sure, you would say that all the shows take place in the same world. Sure, they all start in the real world. It's a sort of connected world, but you're talking about a different group of people. So it's either the shows themselves just take a very drastically different structure that you would call the spin-off, or just, I don't know, man. I don't feel like every other season after, or rather the season after Adventure 1 and 2 are spin-offs. Not in my opinion.
yeah.
Sure, maybe
I mean,
technicality.
I,
Sure.
I don't know how much you guys know about uh uh deep into the Digimon world, but uh so from my understanding, Adventure 2 and Tamers do kind of tie together. There's a
yeah, because of
there's a character that ties them together, and there is like a canon explanation.
it's because of Yo from the WonderSwan games.
Yeah, because he appears in Adventure 2 and in Tamers, and there is like a explanation from those games. I think he gets like reincarnated or something like that. I forget the explanation, but
I don't think it's they reincarnate. He just travels between worlds because of a lot of multiverse crap.
yes, that's what I'm saying. Like Digimon does have like multiverse. They could do something epic, you know. Though
They could, but then they could just do Hunters again. Wouldn't that be fun?
no, let's not talk about. Okay, okay. So I haven't finished Hunters. I really only watched the crossover portions. I don't know. I could not stand that main character in Hunters, and like Hunters was so short. Like how long was the Hunter's arc?
Like only a few like half like 13 to 26, I think.
Did you get? And you're gonna switch main characters. They should have like kept Taki, though they did give a canon a like in universe explanation. You know why, but yeah,
Yeah, well, obviously they could do it with this season because, for one thing, the characters so far are much more likable.
yeah. It would be interesting if this version of the Digimon like Adventure meets up with the original.
That'd be screwy.
I mean,
Make all kinds of nice time paradoxes, possibly.
like I mentioned earlier, V tamers. So there's like an issue. There's like a volume of V tamers where they meet the like anime Adventure 02 counterparts.
Yeah.
Granted, it is like a comic slash manga, so you can get away with that. But
I mean, it depends on how much Toy. I said, as I was saying, Toy wants to invest in this stuff.
yeah, I mean they could always do mega crossover movies that have their own rules, and we don't have to think much. I mean, Toei has done that before.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, they're how much they want to pay for this kind of stuff, like bring in even more voice actors, because let me just say this: the Digimon voice actors are probably not cheap because they're veterans.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. So, if this was to get like an English dub, do you think they should go for new voice actors or the original English cast?
They can't go for the entire English cast.
What? Say that again. I didn't hear you.
For the entire original English cast at this point.
Did you say can or can't?
Cannot.
Okay. Yeah, because they weren't even able to get the original English cast for try.
Yeah, some of them have retired. I think Joe's voice actor passed away.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk correctly. Let's say they could get the original like English cast. Do you think they should, or do new English voice actors?
They'll probably get new. I think they will. I think the only practical way is going with a whole new cast, because most of them are, as I said, either passed away or retired. So if you're only going to bring in like one or two, then what's the point?
Minus that, let's just say they are like they wouldn't retire. They would be willing. Do you think it'd be a good idea to bring the original cast, or do you think it's very
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I'm on the same. Since this is like a reboot and you are trying to sell it for new generation, I think it is good to have like some fresh voices for this properly. How do you feel about that, Drills?
Yeah, honestly, I think that if we're talking about voice acting, I think that if not at least the kids, I think that a Digimon I think it would be very refreshing to have new voice actors. Because voice acting was not the same as it was some odd decades ago, right? So I feel like being able to portray the Digimons as close as possible to what you would really expect a creature like that to sound. I think that in today's standards, I think that would be very, very much possible. And I think the talent exists. And I think it should definitely be a fresh cast, at least for the Digimon.
Yeah.
The kids, I don't really mind if it's the old cast, if possible. Again, Joe's voice actor did pass away, but
yeah. Another thing I want to bring up about that is these actors aren't as young as they used to be. So especially the male for voice actor, it could be challenging. Voicing a super younger character. In Digimon tried, they were older. They could do that, but the for voicing like elementary to middle school kids, I don't know how well that would work.
Mhm.
I mean, you have most of the guy characters in anime being voiced by women, and it's not really that issue that much of an issue.
That's why I said the male voice actors.
Again,
Like
it's the same
for
thing.
example, Ty's English voice actor. I mean, he's a talent. He's a decent voice actor. I just don't know if he could still play like an elementary school or middle school Ty.
I think they could. I would love to if they could.
What do you think, Adam?
I don't think so. I haven't heard his voice in a while, so I can't say.
Oh, you didn't listen to the English dub or try?
No.
Are you avoiding it?
Yes.
You want to elaborate why?
I'm just not interested in English dubs. I'm sorry. That's just how I am.
I like English dubs, but I don't hate like Japanese subs. But if you don't like English dubs, that's okay. To just be respectful to the people who voice.
Oh yeah, no hate, no hate whatsoever. It's just preference.
Oh,
I as well prefer Japanese sub. I mean dubs.
Yeah.
I prefer subs over dubs, but when it comes to dubs, I prefer Japanese. But some English dubs can be very good, even better than the original dubs. But it's just
yeah, like
matter of preference.
Like for example, the Gurren Lagann dub is amazing.
Yeah,
it's good, but I still prefer the Japanese.
Okay, we're gonna have to have a talk after this, but so have you...
Are we gonna have a talk after this?
Yeah.
You're not gonna convince me that the English Kamina sounds better than the Japanese one.
Yep.
Katsuyuki Konishi is a fantastic voice actor, and respects to the English one, he's good too. But no, Japanese.
I can only hear Gohan when he in the English dub.
True that.
So I guess like one final thing I have on my document. Have you guys played any of the Digimon games?
Oof. Wow. I only played one or two. I think there was this one GBA game that I played. I have very faint memories of it. But one that I have very vivid memories of is the one for the PlayStation 1 called Brawl Arena?
that was that fight Rumble Arena, the fighting game.
Oh,
that was
that
was a good.
I loved that. I forget which one I played. Was there only one, or did they make multiple of the arena games?
They made more than one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they made two, but I didn't play the second one or any that were after that. I definitely don't know if there are, but man, Rumble Arena. Oh my god, I played that game a lot with friends.
That was like fun. I remember playing with some of my siblings and friends. Like, those were some good times. They made like a kind of spiritual successful kind of Rumble Arena a couple years ago for the PS3. I heard it wasn't that great.
Well, that's kind of the case for a lot of Digimon games, if we're going to be honest.
Hey, yeah. Cyber Sleuth was amazing, though.
Cyber Sleuth was amazing, but anything before that is questionable. Is of questionable quality.
Yeah, I like the original Cyber Sleuth. I have not been able to finish Hacker's Memory. I guess like my main problem is it's just Cyber Sleuth again.
Yeah.
Not just mechanically, like story wise, like you're just. Like,
it's just that it's the same game from a different perspective.
Yeah, and I feel like the different perspective doesn't add a whole lot.
Any other games? Or just that?
No, I think that's that really. That's all.
Have you guys tried the Digimon MMO?
MMO.
Yeah, there's
That's a no.
there's a Digimon. So there's actually like two. But the more popular one is called Digimon Masters Online. It's based on Digimon the Data Squad. So, but I tried, man. I tried to get into it. I couldn't do it. I got lost, confused. Like, I, and to give context, when I was trying it, I was streaming it. So sometimes when you stream that, that can sometimes affect your experience. I feel. So maybe if I try it off stream, maybe I'd have better. But yeah, I haven't touched. I tried, man. Like I think Digimon has so much potential for like an MMO.
Maybe.
But,
I mean,
but
I'm looking at some gameplay now, and I'm not impressed.
yeah, it's very what looks like if you play it today, it's very like dated and generic. It's a very traditional generic like MMO. Like yes,
Yeah, definitely.
so I tried that. I like Cyber Sleuth. I can't get into the Digimon War games. I know those are the super popular Digimon one, and I've only tried the like newer one. You know, and it's not what I thought it was gonna be. I don't know. I thought it was gonna be a lot like Digimon like Cyber Sleuth.
The original Digimon World trilogy, which I played back in the day on the PS1, are all terrible.
Really, a lot of people love those games.
That's nostalgia talking.
Uh,
Digimon World 1 was a glorified version of the virtual pet version, but with just all kinds of broken mechanics. Digimon World 2, it was probably the best of them. It's just because, but it's still super slow. Digimon World 3 is basically, imagine if you tried to play a Pokemon game without Fly or Surf.
Oh God.
You don't have Fly unless you pay for it. Unless you can't use Fly. Yeah, you can't use Fly at any time. I think you can just only you at least not to get to different locations, and it's just the world is just as big and has even more random encounters. Try and play an RPG like that and not pull out your hair.
So, have you guys heard about the new Digimon game that's coming out? I forget when it's coming out. I think it might be delayed or something. Digimon Survive.
Haven't heard that.
Survive?
Yeah, it's called Digimon Survive. It looks like really good. Like the art looks beautiful. I think it's gonna be like a tactical RPG. I'm not 100% sure. I forget the gameplay, but like that like the first like story trailer they show alone just looked, like it does. It did give me vibes of like the original Digimon Adventure. The whole like exploring and learning to survive in the digital war. So.
I mean, I'm seeing some footage now, and it definitely looks interesting. Yeah,
Could be good.
It actually looks interesting. Maybe I'll keep my eye on it for sure.
Yeah. So to kind of wrap this up, because we have been going on longer, but you know we had recapping to do. It's the first episode. We need to have some general Digimon discussions too. But what do you guys want going forward this episode? Dros, if you want to go first.
What I would want, honestly, I don't really have any desires whatsoever that story would go one way or the other. I'm really just here for the ride. I'm mostly watching from a nostalgia viewpoint, and it's a nostalgia that's not even that nostalgia because I don't actually remember a lot of the stuff that happened. So it's almost like a fresh, new experience. Of course, I will remember some stuff, but yeah, I just hope there won't be any more delays on the way because now that unfortunately some parts of the world are now experiencing a second wave of COVID-19. Of course, if it does come to that point, sure, of course, all the people that are working on it should go and stay home. I just hope, and forgive me if I'm not allowed to, but I just hope that there won't be a delay on one episode or another, because so far I really have no big issues with the show. It's just some pet peeves, and definitely not anything that stops me from watching it. Again, it has great animation when it needs to have it. It has a great soundtrack all the time, in my opinion. And there's a big nostalgia factor that's, again, that's just what keeps me going. So I'm really, I'm just here for the ride.
Cool. And Adam.
I would say they need to slow down the pacing a little bit.
Yeah.
Like this, put aside who at this point. A lot of the
We don't need another shot. We're fine.
yeah. Aside from who, the regular Digimon's introductions are kind of a little bit like too shotgun for me. Like we've already talked about Tentomon. Piyomon wasn't bad, but just I don't know.
So it's probably too passive, I think.
Yeah, that's it. Too passive. Obviously, Yamato and Garurumon was fine, just because they're trying to set them up as the rival character and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but at the same time, I just hope that we don't like blaze through all of the other Digidestin and their partners' introductions. Like I think at this we need to slow down a little bit and just read the glyphs at the tempo and just like actually world build a little bit and not just try it, and of course not try to retread old territory with our war games and stuff like that.
So
That's all.
okay.
Yeah.
So for me, they do need to, like you said, like really slow things down and like I think build things more. And I am concerned they might eventually have too many characters to juggle. So I really hope they can like develop those like characters, and I hope, particularly in the next episode, I really want to see more like Izumi and Tentomon.
Yeah.
See that relationship develop. I I am curious about the temple. I do want to see more of that, and what would be kind of cool because we mentioned before there were these other lights, so there's probably other Digidestin in, so maybe we can see uh their perspectives, but like outside of the group, and then eventually they like collide. But I just want things to be developed more, and not them just like show a cool thing just because it's cool,
Yeah.
I want things to be developed, So I don't like. I really don't know how I feel about the show, honestly. There's some good, there's some bad. I'm gonna keep watching. I'm a Digimon fan, but
Yeah.
I don't know. If I wasn't a Digimon fan, I probably wouldn't be watching.
I feel like the proper development for the next episode, at least in my opinion, would be to really give a big focus on how the hell Koshiro and Tentomon are getting out of that Monstro or Monstro.
Monstromon.
That's probably the reference. So yeah.
Yeah. So how the hell are they getting off of that? How are they developing their relationship? Well, not developing, just give a big focus on how they met, as it should be, and then around the maybe last quarter of the episode, show another Digidestin.
Yeah.
That would be like a nice way to end it, and then focus on them for the next episode. That's how I see it, at least.
So, is there anything else you guys want to add before we conclude this?
Pretty much.
I think that was it.
well, I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you two for talking
Yep.
Digimon with me, and we will see you guys next week, next time, next place. You know, if you like this, make sure you comment, like, ring that bell, subscribe, and also if you're listening to the audio version, follow us and give us a rating. You know, and check out the links to our other channels and links to our guests that were like featured here, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace.
Time, everybody.